As you saw, today is a bell pepper kind of day. Today we're having sweet and sour meatballs for lunch. We're going to serve it over some rice, use up these bell peppers and everything, which, I mean, I bought them for this purpose. But that way we can have something super quick since we have a short day with school before moving on to all of our, like, we have afternoon art classes and everything today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got about, I mean, I don't really know how many meatballs. I'd say probably about 30 if you're estimating. But I kind of double lined the bottom of our crock pot. A little less than double lined maybe. But just poured frozen meatballs straight in. You can use homemade meatballs if you like. So to our meatballs, I'm just going to add in about 3 bell peppers worth of large chopped pieces. I like the large pieces for this because it adds just a lot of color and it just makes things more filling to me to have those big chunks of veggies. And as you can see, a lot of these are those end bump pieces that we used from the bell peppers for breakfast. So it works out wonderfully. Next up, we have a can of pineapple chunks that I've drained. Reserve that juice because we do need it. Okay, we have this set to low. Now we're gonna make our sauce that goes down in it. So down in my measuring cup, I have 3/4 of a cup of white vinegar. To this, I'm going to add about a cup of white sugar. And we need about 1/2 cup of ketchup, about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I cannot find my big chunk of ginger in the freezer, so I'll have to get another one. I don't think that I threw it out, but those things last forever, so I might have. So I'm just going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. If I had my fresh, then I would use about like a tablespoon. And about a heaping teaspoon of minced garlic. And now we are just going to pour back in that pineapple juice that we drained off. And if you wanted to, you could just dump it all in. But I want to get it all mixed around together. All right, we're just going to pour this over our meatballs. I'm going to let this cook on low for about 4 or 5 hours. And there you have it, y'all. Our lunch is ready. I did add an extra tablespoon of soy sauce to our mix because when I taste tested it, it tasted a little sweeter than I wanted. And I am not using a slotted spoon because I do want that juice to pour all over the rice that I made. I'm just using some Xanaran's rice. Y'all know that's what we use quite a bit. Try to get some peppers and some pineapple along with the meatballs in here. And that is, to me, about as simple as you can get it. So there you go. Enjoy. Alright, y'all, this one is very simple and straightforward. We're just going to make some chili down in my Ninja Foodie and let it simmer on slow cooker function. It is not cold here at all. However, my plan had been to make shipwreck stew. However, it's not cold and I've just been craving some chili. That's one of the first things we usually have when it does get cold. And maybe with us having this, it will bring on some of that cold weather. We did have some cooler weather just the other day. But nonetheless, we're going to have chili for dinner tonight. So I'm just browning my ground beef. And you can do this on the stovetop and then transfer it into your slow cooker if you want. But this is super, super simple. I don't even know that I'd call it a recipe, which is why I'm combining it with another little video. But I wanted to show y'all what we're doing on whatever night this is. So I've got 1.5 pounds of ground beef down in the bottom of my pan. So I'm just draining some of the grease that's in this pan. My meat is not fully cooked, but I don't want it super dry. I'll be leaving some of the grease in there. Okay, so usually I use the McCormick chili mix, and that's like my go-to favorite. However, I love me some Tony Chachere's, and I saw this, so we're going to try this today. So we're adding the entire packet of seasoning, and if we need to amp it up a little bit, we've got plenty of things that we can add to it. Mix this around. And I like letting my chili simmer throughout the day, but at least for 20 to 30 minutes to get those flavors kind of married together. So we're going to add in 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes. If you don't like chunky chili, you could switch this to a tomato sauce instead of diced tomatoes. I'm going to add in a can of white beans that I've drained and rinsed. You can use kidney beans, pinto beans, really whatever bean you want. And yes, I know some people say if beans are in it, then it's not chili. I like beans in my chili. And I live in Texas. I know I'm not a Texan. I'm a Louisianian through and through, but I like beans in my chili. And then next up, I'm just going to take my can from my tomatoes and fill it with beef broth and pour that in as well. Now I only have a little bit left of this beef broth, so I'm going to pour that last little bit in also. And there we have it. I'm going to turn this down to low and just let it simmer away all over.